Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is September 10, 2021. I want to cover stocks with the heavy insider buying. When we have heavy insider buying, that tells you there's a conviction from insiders and they have confidence in the business and they think stock might go up in the future. So with that we got here top insider buying here. At the top we got CTI Bio, CTIC, very heavy insider buying 430%. And also as you can look through here, RSI or relative strength index is a little high, 66, and solid 1 year return of 199%. So it's a very low price stock, $3.14. And then you got Novan here, $9 stock, very heavy insider buying, 374%, and also nice 1 year performance. And then you got a couple more here, MGNX, DPW, MICT, and so on and so forth. Keep watching the insider buying percentage here, solid triple digit insider buying here, which is a great indication. So as you think through, also look at RSI levels. If the RSI is below 55 or so, you can still buy them and participate in the upward momentum. If the RSI is higher, like CTIC and Novan, you can still buy. These are tiny companies, as you can see here. They can still go up. So I would suggest buying on down days and accumulating. Also, as you can think, look at here, look at the solid 1 year performance in many stocks here. Very good, very nice performance. Sometimes even solid triple digit performance. So this is one of the reasons I love these small stocks with heavy insider buying. They can give you outsized performance from a percentage perspective, as you can see here. And also watch out for the stocks with the negative 1 year performance, and you have to look through and see, are they improving in the near term. If so, it's good to invest some and take it from there. And also look at the short float here. In some cases like DPW, there is a heavy short float here, 13%, and Callon Petroleum CPE, very heavy short ratio, which is 20%. So those could be the candidates for a short squeeze here as we go forward. That might send the stock higher. So with that, we got one more table here. There's a few more companies. We got Reshape here, $3.05, very heavy insider buying, and it's a low market cap stock, as you can see here, 47 million. And then we got CANO here, $13 stock, very heavy insider buying. So we could look at these two. Let's just scan through here. We got DBI with nice 1 year return of 106%, and SELB, nice 1 year return, 99%. So scan through the short float here. Float is 13% for BHG. Could be a good one, can cause short squeeze here. And also we got PROG and GOCO with high short ratio. And watch out 1 year return for these two. The 1 year return is negative. So we got to watch out and see, are these improving in the near term? If so, we can commit some money and go forward. Also look at RSI levels. When the RSI is below 55, most of these stocks are, with the exception of last two here. You could still put money to work here on these nice entry positions here. So with that, what we'll do is we'll look at these stocks in a little more detail and see what's worth buying at these levels. So with that, from a top stock news perspective, we got Novan here, clinical stage biotech company. They announced strategic priorities and outline milestones. Typically, that's a good sign for the stock. I think they're getting some clarity on their vision. So we should look at this company into little more detail and see if it's worth buying. And then we got here ELOX Pharmaceuticals, a little tiny company here. They have fast track designation for their treatment of cystic fibrosis. So that's a very difficult disease for a lot of patients. I think this company is trying to make some progress here. Then we got here Callon Petroleum CPE. Looks like they got solid reports here, and they are also beating their estimate, and a nice bottom line. So it looks like increased commodity price is helping this company. We should see if this is worth buying at these levels. And then you got designer brands DBI. Folks are wondering if it is a solid choice. They have a good earnings estimate, and analysts are bullish. Let's see if we can buy this company at these levels and take it from there. And then we got Bright Health Group, BHG. Looks like it's a healthcare benefits company, and they're making a lot of progress. Revenues up 275%, and they're breaking through $1 billion level. There is a lot of competition in this space. We can see if this company can cut through the competition. Then we got little known biotech company here, Selecta Biosciences SELB. Looks like this company is entering into collaboration for engineered therapeutic proteins. Let's see if it is worth buying here. And last but not least, we got Sio Gene Therapies, SIOX. They are announcing dosing here. Let's see if it's worth buying here. And also there's a date here. We got October 2021. That's when they have some of these results coming out. It could be worth buying at these levels. So with that, let's jump into some numbers and see if it's worth buying at these levels. So before that, let's look at the big picture here. This is a year-to-date chart, S&P 500 or SPY ETF. Off late, as you can see here, ETF is a little bit down here. That tells you broader market is kind of thinking where to go at this time. So we have 2 down days or 3 down days in this week here. It's about to touch 25-day moving average, as you can see here. So generally, the broader indices are negative at these levels. So we should watch and buy some good candidates, in this short-term weakness. And same story with the QQQ or Nasdaq 100. As you can see here, a couple down days this week here. Last 2 days are down. This also might touch 25-day moving average. So that's why it's good to buy some quality stocks as they're heading down. And then you got Dow Jones Industrial Average or DIA. It's the top 30 Dow Jones stocks here. As you can see here, this one crossed below 50-day moving average. So this one could be good to buy, some good stocks at the low levels here. Also, as you can see here, on the balance, volume is also dropping a little bit, which is normal. I would look at some of these names in the Dow Jones Industrial Average and start buying them slowly. And then you got Russell here. Russell also, as you can see here, it's trying to bounce off of 50-day moving average here. I would be willing to look at some good stocks in Russell 2000 and slowly add to position. So with that, let's look at some heavy insider buying stocks here. The way this chart is organized, we got here the stock price, the market cap, how much insiders are buying, what's their transaction level. So stock on the top here, heavy insider buying here, from there it's in the descending order. And then we got institution transactions, tells you if the institutions are also buying or not. And then you got sales and sales growth here, very important. If you're a fundamental investor, look for greens in quarterly and annual sales growth here. Those tells you those are the good fundamental companies, coupled with a nice gross margin that tells you fundamentally it's a strong company. Depending on your investment style, if you're a speculator, want some short-term quick return, don't focus too much on fundamentals. But if you are a long-term trader, look at 1 year performance from a sales growth perspective, and also quarter over quarter coupled with the gross margin will tell you it's a fundamentally sound company. Then we got your net margin, tells if the company is making money at this point. A nice net margin like here DPW, and as you scan through here CANO and Nuveen and GORO, they all have good net margin here. Debt to equity ratio will tell you if the company's got too much debt on the balance sheet. For example, Callon Petroleum, and we got a couple more here, CANO, DBI, AIV. They all have high, debt to equity ratio. Tells you they got more debt on their balance sheet. In some cases, it may be okay. For example, there are capital intensive businesses like Callon Petroleum and also AIV as an example. It's okay to have a little more debt on the balance sheet, but we should see if the company is making progress to deleverage. Then we got RSI, or Relative Strength Index, tells you is it good from an entry position perspective. Anytime RSI raises above 55, watch out. Probably not good to enter the stock at that time, but if the RSI is 55 or below, then it may be okay to buy some stock and watch carefully and add more. And then you got IV percentile here. If you're an options trader, look at the IV percentile. This IV percentile number is from Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade. So if you're an options buyer, look for low IV percentile and also low RSI. If you're a call option buyer, you want stock to go up. That's why you are looking at a low RSI, meaning stock is oversold, and a low IV percentile because you don't want to pay too much money for call option. As an example here, candidates like ELOX here could be a good candidate, even Callon for that matter, low RSI, low IV percentile could be a good candidate for you to buy some call option. And then you got institution ownership, tells you if the institutions are owning the company. So that's a good confidence from big institutions. Then you got short float. If you want to, if you're a swing trader, look for high short float. So the moment there's a high short float coupled with low RSI and high insider institution buying, and if that tells you stock can cause a short squeeze and stock can go up. So if you also look at nice fundamentally good companies with 1 year sales growth, quarter over quarter sales growth, that could be a winning combination. Solid fundamental, solid technical, low RSI, and also high IV high short float ratio. That tells you that's a candidate which will most probably make its way higher due to this short squeeze. And then you got here price to sales ratio, tells you if the stock is expensive. For example, 34, a little expensive, but here I think we got a very nice low price to sales ratio for most part. Then you got performance all the way from 1 day to 5 year. So that tells you whether the company has what it takes to perform well in the long run. Sometimes there are one-trick ponies, they will do well. Maybe there's a quick short squeeze, but they may not do well in the long run. As you look through here, look at 1 year and 5 year performance. If the company has done very well in 1 year, 5 year, chances are they will do well as you go forward also. So I think it's good to look at least some greens in the past performance. If it's all red, watch out because there may be some red flag. The company may not do well in the future also. So with that, I've highlighted few stocks for you, starting with the MGNX here. As you scan through here, heavy insider buying, coupled with the low RSI here, and also as you scan through here, we got some performance. In 1 day it's improving, and 3 months there is a positive, 2 weeks there is a positive. So I think we could look at stocks like MGNX, for a nice entry position here. It's a low price stock here, $23. You could look at this to buy some and take it from there. And then we got here DPW. It's a low dollar stock, $2.83. Very high insider buying, coupled with the high institutional buying also. You could look at this one too here, and they got nice performance from a sales growth perspective and a nice gross margin and nice net margin. That looks like a winning combination here. Nice fundamentals, and right now RSI little high 62, but I think we should slowly buy it on down days given stock is up last couple days and weeks here, good to wait for a little pullback and then buy DPW. I mean, even it's okay to buy some at these levels given it's a very low stock price, but I would rather wait a little bit, wait for a little pullback and then take it from there. I think same story applies to stocks like CTIC and Novan. Solid insider as well as institution buying. RSI level is a little high. I would wait for a little pullback. For example, Novan here, they had a 10-day, one-day pullback of 10% here. You could add to your position or buy a little bit at these levels and then slowly add more. And then you got a couple more here, ELOX and CPE here. Nice insider as well as institutions buying here. And in case of CPE, there is a nice sales growth also, as you can look through here, and nice gross margin. And as you scan through here, RSI levels are low. It's good to buy at these levels. And they do have some good performance in shorter term, one day. I'd be willing to buy these companies here. Look at ELOX here. ELOX stock price is so low, $1.53. I think there's a potential for this company to really, become much bigger as we go forward. Right now, there is no sales. It's a zero or very low sales. And then you got a couple more here: PHX, Reshape, DBI, SBG, so on and so forth. Keep watching the insider transactions here. Insiders are buying heavily. That tells you there is a solid conviction from insiders. And many of these companies, like CANO here, like ALDX, they also have heavy institutions buying. When institutions are buying heavily, insiders are buying heavily, coupled with the low RSI, and sometimes coupled with the high short ratio. Those are the winning recipes for stock to go higher. So I like many of these companies here, like ALDX here, low price, $8.92. Look here, there is a high insider transactions, high institution transactions, coupled with the nice short ratio that can cause stock higher. So with that, we got one more page here. We got BBI, RADI, so on and so forth. I've highlighted few names for you like RIG, Transocean. Looks like drilling is back here. And Clean Spark. Look at Clean Spark here. There is a high insiders buying here, and institutions are also buying Clean Spark. That could be a good one. Coupled with the short ratio of 13%, Clean Spark can also go higher from these levels. And then you got one of my favorite stocks here, ICPT, Intercept Biotech Company, $14. Heavy insider buying, as you can see here, and the stock has been oversold, indicated by RSI 47. I would buy some Intercept. Even if you're an option buyer, you could buy options given IV percentile is low here. And then you got here a couple more: ZGNX, DFFN, Mustang Bio, and BioLess. I think all these will work here. High insider transactions in many cases, like Mustang Bio. There is also nice, institutions buying. I think those are good candidates here. Look at the RSI levels for many of these stocks here. RSI is low, indicates it's okay to buy at these levels here. And also in some cases like ZGNX and RNA here, there's a high short ratio that tells you stock can cause a short squeeze here. So with that, we got probably one more page here. So as you scan through, high insider transactions here, and many cases we got high institution transactions like eCore, high institution transactions here, and also low RSI. That tells you, stock can go higher because both insiders as well as institutions have got a lot of conviction on this stock, and probably it will start heading higher. It's a $1 stock, as you can see here. And then you got a couple more here, ESPR, Six Flags, Geo, and so on and so forth. Keep watching the insider transactions, positive, and in some cases like VISL and MQ, there is also high institution transactions, which is good, coupled with a low RSI, as you can scan through here, and also in some cases like Geo and VISL, there is also high short float that can send the stock higher. And then you got here GOGO, SONN, Fastly, one of my favorite here. They also have nice insider sales in many cases like TNXP and GOGO. There's also nice inside institution transactions here, including SONN here. I would look at some of those names and also watch short float here. Some of these have got high short float, indicates they can cause a short squeeze here. So with that, let's look at a few charts here very quickly. So from a chart perspective, I just took 4 stocks here just to give you an idea. First is MGNX, biopharma company here, discovered, develop antibody-based therapeutics. That's a very hot area. As you scan through the stock chart here, stock has been selling off late, as you can see here, but it's showing some improvement in the near term. Right now, as you can see here, we got 25-day moving average at the bottom. Stock is trying to take basically bounce off of its 25-day moving average. I think slowly this will turn bullish. It already made its way higher right now. And on the balance, volume is showing progress here. That's a good sign. Even though stock dropped off, on the balance, volume stayed steady. That tells you, the folks are buying the stock here. They're not afraid of this short-term weakness here. So with that, stock being at a very low price, $23, I would be a buyer of this stock outright. So if you're an options buyer, watch out. IV percentile is a little bit higher. Maybe it's not good to buy an option at this level, but you can buy stock outright when it drops a little bit. And then you got DPW here. They design, develop, and manufacture and sell system solutions here for military, aerospace, medical, so on and so forth. So as you look through here, stock is kind of oversold, not doing much. But look at the on the balance volume. That's keeping pretty steady. So that's why I would buy some DPW here. Only thing is, look, RSI a little bit higher at these levels. I think it's good to buy even, stock is not doing much here. It's good to buy. I would rather wait for a little pullback, but I'm okay to buy at these levels. And then you got here PHX. They operate as a natural gas and oil mineral company here. Stock has been sold off, trying to gain some traction here. I would buy some PHX here. Given natural gas is gaining a lot of strength, prices are going up in the natural gas and even energy for that matter. Look at the on the balance volume, pretty steady and racing. It's a low price stock here, $2.66. Could be a good one here. And then you got FTAI here. They operate through aviation, leasing, and some of these terminals and ports. As you see here, stock has been sold off big time, now trying to make a move higher. So on the balance, volume is sold off a little bit, now it's racing. I would buy some FTAI at these levels, given it's completely sold off with a very low RSI. So with that, these are some names here. You could look at other stocks also and follow the same methodology. If the stock is in the trading range or dropping, but on the balance volume is keeping steady or racing, those are nice candidates that you can look at. So with that, you might wonder when to buy and sell stocks. From an entry point perspective, look for RSI levels or relative strength index, below 55. That tells you, it's from an entry position perspective, stock is oversold. You're not paying too much money. At the same time, if the on the balance volume is racing, that's a winning combination. That tells you smart money is flowing into the stock. Good to initiate a position here. But on the other hand, if the RSI is above 60 or even above 70, 80 in some scenarios, and on the balance volume is falling, that tells you don't buy the stock at this time. Momentum may be dropping. So if you already have the stock, you can trim it or sell it. Always good to buy and sell in stages, so that way you have room to run if the stock goes up further, and take it from there. And look for stocks consolidating for a while and showing some signs of bullishness. That tells you, hey, stock may be about to take off from these levels. I look at many indicators in these scenarios. One of the good indicator to look at stocks consolidating and shifting the pattern is TTM squeeze indicator from John Carter. That tells you when the stock is going to go higher by looking at Bollinger Band. When the Bollinger Band gets inside the Keltner tunnel, that tells you a stock has to take off either higher or lower. And then if the stock is nearing 52-week high, look for pullback before buying, so that way you have some margin of safety. Similarly, when the stock is nearing 52-week low, look for a sign of price increase before buying. That way you don't catch a falling sword. Sometimes it's okay to initiate a small position for tracking when the stock is completely down. It's okay. When the stocks have a huge drop, look for some signs of bullishness before you jump in. A high short ratio can be a good catalyst, especially when the stock is sold off. That tells you, stock has got some more room to run, coupled with the nice insider and institution buying. That tells you there's a conviction from insiders and big mutual fund companies. Look for fundamentally good companies. If you don't want to play the game of day in, day out, buying and selling, look for good fundamentally good companies with positive sales growth and gross margin. Rule of 40, as we say, a quarter over quarter sales growth plus gross margin greater than 40. That tells you these are fundamentally good companies. You can buy some and hold for a long time. And if you're a secular growth company or like a biotech or a tech company down on a bad news, you could initiate a small tracking position, so that way you buy when it's really ugly, and then you can add on as you go forward. Key thing is don't buy all at once, because you don't know what way it will go. That's why I would always initiate a small tracking position when the stock is big, down big. If you're a option buyer and seller, always watch RSI levels and also IV percentile. When the RSI is low and IV percentile is low, that tells you stock has got more room to run. RSI low tells you stock is sold off. It will probably go up. And implied vol is low, that tells you you're not paying too much for the call option premium. So with that, if you're a call option buyer, look for these two, coupled with the some fundamentals like rule of 40 as example. Similarly, if you're a call option seller, look for a high RSI. You want the stock to be oversold at those levels, and also high implied volatility, so that you get a premium. You basically have a nice premium if you're a call option seller. If you're a put option buyer, look for high RSI, because you want stock to come down because you bought a put option here. Look for low IV, because you don't want to pay too much premium because you're a put option buyer here. If you're a put option seller, look for low RSI here. You want stock to go up, and also high IV because you want to bring in more premium. So these are the high-level thought process if you're an option buyer, and there are other strategies you can deploy like multi-leg options we can cover later in a different section. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Thank you.